Okay.
There's Teresa. She's turning her camera on. I think she's trying to.
I'm trying to.
Is Ed on?
Ed's not on yet.
Okay, I'm calling him now.
Okay. Mike's trying to get a hold of Ed.
Hey, waiting for you to join.
Okay, I got my mic on, but I didn't get my camera on. I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
Are you on a phone or a computer?
Oh, there it is. Start video.
Oh, there we go. That's
Yay.
it.
There I am. Okay, hi.
Hi.
I'm still Teresa.
Turn your turn
That way?
There we go.
That's better.
Okay, thank you.
So we're waiting on
Okay.
Ed. Mike's talking to Ed, trying to get him figured out.
Ed should be dialed in soon.
Okay. And then we'll all be here.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
The gang's all here.
Carson's on a cruise right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I told
And,
he told her that, and I told her that, and now you're
And I
telling
told
her.
her that. I'm not at home. I'm actually cooking for a retreat right now.
Yeah, I told her
awesome.
I told her that. Okay.
Eva, how long have you been in Aubrey?
A little over a year as communications
Okay.
director. So yeah, I just joined. I worked in Frisco ISD for 17 and a half years.
Oh wow,
And
okay.
so just, I taught audio video production and social media marketing and I'm a professional journalist as well. And
Oh, nice.
so yes, and so there are some major things about the story that really, really stick out to me.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna wait till Ed joins.
Okay, well, I won't ask you anymore. Well,
Yeah, I want him to be a part of the experience too.
Where did you go to college?
I went to Sam Houston State.
Oh, nice. I
Eat
know
'em up
somebody that
cats.
went to Sam Houston State. Oh, here comes Ed. Yay.
Yay.
So Eva, a bit of trivia here. The very first football game that Aubrey High School ever played was against Frisco's JV team.
Did
we
Aubrey win?
Probably lost.
We did. No, we won 14-8 or 14-6.
Wow.
Okay.
So our varsity against their JV.
JV, right.
Well, all we had was freshmen and sophomores playing.
Yeah,
so it was
that's
like
true. That's
a
true.
JV.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hi, Ed. We're glad you could join us. We're just waiting on you to get your camera turned on.
Well, it should be turned on.
Nope, we don't see you yet.
Try that. There we go.
There
Okay,
you
there we
are.
go. Okay, hello.
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 Oh my gosh, this is such an honor to have all of the children of Pete and Myra West on the line. Say hello, everyone, and introduce
Hello.
yourselves. Introduce yourselves.
I'll go first. I'm the youngest. I'm Kathleen West Thompson, and I live in Virginia, Gloucester, Virginia. Right now, we've lived here about 18 years.
Awesome.
I graduated from Aubrey High School. I started there in first grade and went all the way through all 12 years at Aubrey schools. And my mom taught me in second grade. And I graduated in 1981. And then went to Texas A&M and graduated from A&M in 1985. And then went on to get my master's in library science at Texas Woman's University and graduated from there in 1989. So
awesome.
That's me.
Thank you. Who's next?
If we go in order, I guess I'll go next. I'm Edward, the third youngest, or third in line. Obviously went to Aubrey as well. When we moved up there, I was in second grade, so I was second grade through high school, class of 1980. I live over in the United Kingdom in England. I live in Hull, so I've been here for this time for just over 20 years now, and so I'm the one that's further afield than everybody else. So that may be why I had trouble getting on the Zoom. I'm not too sure. So
You're great. You're here.
yes, I'm
Nice
here.
to meet you.
You too.
And I'm Teresa West Mancuso. I started in Aubrey in 5th grade and graduated high school there in 1977. I went to Texas A&M too, but I didn't graduate from there. Went 2 years at A&M, then I got married and finished my bachelor's degree overseas with University of Maryland in Germany, and graduated
Awesome.
with a bachelor's degree in 82.
All right. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm Carson West, the oldest, and I was in 6th grade when we moved to Aubrey and graduated in 1976. Went to Texas A&M, dropped out of school about halfway through my junior year to get married. And shortly after that, realized I'd wasted 2.5 years if I didn't finish my degree. So I wound up graduating from University of North Texas, and recently retired and loving the retired life.
And tell us where you are currently.
We live in Keller. We moved. I was in North Dakota when we retired. Oh, right now I'm on a cruise ship. Yeah, we're out in the middle of the Pacific. The Big Island is probably about a couple of 100 nautical miles behind us.
Celebrating which anniversary?
The 45th anniversary.
45th anniversary.
Awesome.
Yep.
It's so great to meet you all. And I'm Eva Coleman. I'm Director of Communications for Aubrey ISD. And, it's really something else to have all of you on the line to share some wonderful news that will be voted upon during our school board meeting. And it's the naming of elementary school number 4 in Aubrey ISD. And the name that is being proposed is Clayton Pete Legree and Myra and West Elementary. When you hear that, and you guys can go in any order that you like, but when you hear that, what do you feel in your heart when you hear that?
Honor and joy.
I'm really thankful that God gave us the parents he gave us. They were wonderful parents, and I just feel like it's a blessing from the Lord. And I know they would be very honored and humbled. They loved the students, and they were educators first and foremost. And they would just be very honored and humbled, and that's how I feel too.
It does bring a tear to my eye a little bit. I know Mom and Dad both loved their students and the way they were able to serve as they're in their time there. One of my assignments when I was at North Texas was to write a paper about a manager, and I chose Daddy, and and had to interview him and tell about his accomplishments, and it was the highest grade I got in the class all year. But part of it was because it was while he was superintendent of Aubrey High School or Aubrey schools, and he, in my opinion at least, he did a wonderful job of guiding the schools during this time there.
Okay, awesome. Ed, your thoughts?
Well, it is just such an honor and so humble that they've been chosen to be named for the school. It's just watching Mom living there, and she always used to go on about the kids that she taught that she'd see grow up and have their kids going to school, and the stories that she'd tell about them was, you could tell how much she just enjoyed teaching, and I know how much she enjoyed teaching us kids as well, Carson and Teresa and Kathleen, just at home, and knowing that she loved doing that so much with at school as well. It is just it is such an honor to see that that happening.
Now, in my research, I discovered that your parents moved you all, a family of 6, to Aubrey in 1969. Now, when you were a child and you moved to this town, what were you thinking, or what was going on in your child brain about where your parents had moved you to?
Well, actually, Aubrey was bigger than the town we moved from. We moved from a little bitty town called Morgan, and it was very small, even smaller than Aubrey. So it was kind of a step up in one sense, but it was a step down in another sense, because the house we moved to, we called the Old Ugly House. It was out on the highway, and it was a very ugly old house.
It's just
but
a
we
pile
liked
of boards.
Aubrey.
Just a pile
Yeah.
of boards now. It doesn't even
Right.
exist.
Right. It was the only house available to rent at the time, because I don't even think Krugerville had been built out yet when we moved here. Anyway,
Yeah,
I enjoyed the school. It was a good school, and I enjoyed the school from the first time that we went here. I remember my 5th grade teacher was one of my favorite teachers of all, Mrs. Whitley.
Anyone else want to share what they were thinking when they first moved to Aubrey?
Well, being a child and moving a distance away from the friends that you've grown up with and gone to school with, it's always an intimidating thing. But just, it was great coming to a place that you could make new friends and make friends that would be lasting through your entire school career. And that was an exciting time. And just as a child, going someplace new is always exciting, because it's like, wow, it's like, this is going to be great. And it turned out to be so. And everybody, I think all of us loved Aubrey, and just from seeing what it was like when we moved there in '69 to what it's like now, it's just an amazing transformation. It's not like it's not in Kansas anymore. So
Oh, I was actually a little awed at how big it was. When I started 6th grade there in Aubrey, Mrs. Steele was the teacher, and the first day of school there were 50 6th graders in her classroom. The school we left, Morgan, had just barely 50 kids in 1st through 6th grade. And so I was a little overwhelmed at what we'd gotten into, just because, you know, I wasn't used to that many kids in one school. But I acclimated quickly, and like Ed said, we made some very lifelong friends while we were there, and it was a little scary at first for me.
Kathleen, would you like to add?
I think for me, I was just like 6 or 7, so my memory, you know, you just go where your parents go and your family goes. So I don't really have any memories of any feeling scared or anything. I just thought it was just what you did. You just went where your parents were. But I do remember starting when I started, looking back just from the perspective, you know, as you get older, you can kind of see your parents' perspective more than when you're little. And so just thinking about what my parents must have been feeling at the time. I know it was a big step for them because Daddy went from being superintendent in Morgan to just being a teacher in Aubrey. And then my mom had always stayed home with us when we were younger. And because I was going into first grade, she went back to teaching for the first time since Carson was born, really. And so I know that was a big transition for them. And I mean, at the time I was just a kid. I didn't really think anything of that. But now looking back, I can see that it was a major life change for them. But they handled it well and still loved us and took good care of us. And Daddy even drove the bus, because they didn't make as much money back then either. So I think that there was definitely a pay cut probably. And so Daddy drove the bus, I think, just to earn a little extra money. And but I still remember I would ride the bus sometimes, and that was kind of fun because he was the bus driver. But there were 3 buses, just 3, because that was the size of the school then. But I always remember every day, every time I would get on the bus, I would ask him, "Is this the right bus?" And he would be like, "Yes, it is." It was the same bus all the time, but I still was afraid of getting on the wrong bus. So anyway, they took good care of us.
Took good care of you. I'm so glad that each of you mentioned what you mentioned, because we're having our 3rd tonight of our attendance zone meetings, because we have to have this series of meetings because attendance boundaries get redrawn, right? And so, but what you shared about going to a new school and the friends that you made and feeling safe and secure, even the love from your parents providing that security, it says so much. And so when you think about these students who'll be walking into the school named after your parents, what is it that you hope that they would take away or be a part of the legacy that they're building about being in a building that's named for your loved ones who raised you all to be the adults that you are today?
My wish is that every student that goes to that school comes out with the same joy and enthusiasm for learning and for teaching others that Mom and Dad had. They taught us to be active learners and to enjoy teaching others. And that's what I would hope that everybody that went to that school would come out learning or loving to learn just like that.
Awesome.
I agree. Mom and Dad both were they were voracious readers, and Mom always read to us when we were kids, and they always had a book in their hands. And that really is the best way to learn, is just to read. And so that's what I would hope for all the kids that go to the elementary school, that they would just come out with a love of learning and loving to read. Because reading, I was a librarian, and I love books too. And I know all of us love books, and you never stop learning. Till the day you take your last breath, you just continue to learn and grow. So
awesome.
Another thing I would like for the students to come out, Mother always found good in people. She was always seeing something good and just was a kind person. And I would hope that the students would practice kindness and be able to find the good in other people.
Yeah.
And just learn how to give back to the community. It's like Mom was played piano at the First Baptist Church for many years. Dad was scoutmaster for a while, just learning to give back to the community that gives you support and that you're such a part of, because it does make a difference when everybody does pull together. So
they did Meals on Wheels too. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right.
Meals on Wheels. Yeah.
I always got a kick out of it because they would say, "Oh, we're taking food to the old people," and I thought, "Well, y'all are the old people."
Mom also accompanied a lot of students on UIL competitions on the piano, so she did that a lot.
And I read including her great-granddaughter. She went to a UIL
Yeah.
competition.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. In Kansas.
As well. Now, it's such a pleasure. And I know that, I don't know, I'm sure there's some emotions that kind of well up in this school being named after them. But just, hoping that leadership will take it and implore the values that your parents had for education. I'm sure that's very important. I'm going to read what I've written so far. And I'm really just reading this to make sure that it's accurate now that I have all of you on the line. And so if you just kind of listen to what I've written. And I have Clayton Pete, is it Legree? Am I saying that correctly?
Agree.
Yes.
Okay. Clayton Pete Legree and Myra Ann West were a devoted couple who shared 55 years of love while serving Aubrey Independent School District with compassion, care, and thoughtful leadership. Mr. West, born in Hamilton, Texas on September 21st, 1928, was a 1947 graduate of Hamilton High School. He received his bachelor's degree from Tarleton State College, now Tarleton State University, and a master's in education from North Texas State College, now University of North Texas. Mrs. West was born on June 16, 1933 in Blanket, Texas. Mr. and Mrs. West married in 1954. The same year Mrs. West graduated from Texas State College for Women, now Texas Women's University, with a degree in education. Mrs. West later earned her master's in education as well. The couple moved their family of 6 to Aubrey in 1969. The same year, Mr. West started as a math teacher and Mrs. West as a second grade teacher in Aubrey ISD. Mr. West later became the elementary school principal and then, due to the death of the campus leader, became principal of Aubrey High School. Mr. West ascended to the role as Aubrey ISD superintendent, of which he served for 6 years until retiring in 1984. Mrs. West taught second grade for 23 years in Aubrey ISD until her retirement in 1992. Mrs. West was known for weaving her expressions of love for reading, music, and nature throughout her classroom lessons. Over the years, she was known to have accompanied many students to numerous University Interscholastic League UIL competitions, including her oldest great-granddaughter. In addition, Mrs. West was very active in the community, serving on the Aubrey Library Board for a number of years, where she wrote grants for computers, organized fundraisers, and assisted with book sales. Both Mr. and Mrs. West were longtime active members of First Baptist Church, now First Rock Fellowship in Aubrey. Mr. West was a 40-year member, while Mrs. West served as the church pianist for 50 years. In a desire to impact the entire community, her civic duties included being an Aubrey election judge and worker. From their union came 4 children, Carson, Teresa, Edward, and Kathleen, all esteemed Aubrey High School graduates. 3 of them were valedictorians of their class, while 1 was the salutatorian. They each attended Texas A&M University. Leaving their indelible marks on the Aubrey ISD and greater area community, Mr. and Mrs. West were married until Mr. West's death on February 8, 2009. Mrs. West died October 8, 2021. Is there anything I've written that is inaccurate or incorrect? Does it all sound accurate?
Yeah.
I think you got it.
Awesome. And so thank you. And so that's what I've written. And I definitely wanted you all to hear it first before it goes out to anyone else.
Well,
because this is your
that.
family. This is your family, and this is your legacy as well. And, in closing, I just kind of want you all to just kind of share something about maybe your parents that maybe your average person would not know. Is there something unique or different or something that you recall as a memory that you wanted to share with us?
Mom really loved her students. students give little presents to teachers. Well, Mom kept every present every student gave her, and she would write on the back who it was from and when they gave it to her. And when we went through the house, we found all these things, that she had kept because they meant so much to her. And we would be out having dinner someplace at a restaurant in town, and she'd say, "See that girl over there? Her name is such and such." And I had her in second grade, and she'd tell me stories about her. And she just loved her students.
And remembered them. Wow.
Yeah, I remembered them. Yeah.
Wow. Who's next?
When you were talking about Daddy moving up from elementary principal to high school principal, I remember when that happened. It was one of the few times I've seen Daddy cry when Malcolm Branch died, because they were very, very good friends. And just looking back at that, how hard it must have been to see his best friend die and then take his position and continue doing a good job as that. I don't know if I could have done it like he did. And anyway, sorry.
No, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And that's something we wouldn't know. I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When we were all there for Mom's funeral in 2021, we were going into the bank to take care of some business. The four of us were, and we were stopped on the way in by a man that I don't know that I recognized. I don't know if any of y'all recognized him, but he knew who he recognized at least one of us, and he just made a comment about Daddy, saying that how much Daddy meant to him. And he said, "If it weren't for your dad, I wouldn't be here today, because he literally saved my life." And so he didn't give us any details, but we appreciated him saying that, and just a reminder of the impact they had on people's lives, a lot of which I'm sure we never even knew about at the time. So just very, very thankful.
Thank you for that, Kathleen.
Do y'all remember that?
Yes, I do.
My memory's not so great, so I was hoping y'all remembered it too.
Now, Ed, you're across the pond. What you want to kind of close us out with your memory?
I'm not very good at telling stories, so I'll let my brother and sisters talk for me. That's okay.
But that is so great, and I just thank you for sharing, and just knowing that there's going to be a building with their name on it, and something for a community that it's obvious that they cared so much about and care so much for. And you all, like I said, what stood out to me was the academic prowess that you all have and had to be tops of your class. That comes from your parents.
Yep.
That comes from them being who they were for you all to reach that level in your academic achievements. And so thank you for taking the time with me today. This is like a family reunion, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
This
it
is
is.
pretty neat.
And
Yeah.
so I really am so honored that you all took the time out to speak with me today. And hopefully you can mark your calendars. I'll be in touch. And I have Kathleen's information, so I'll be in touch to let you all know, like when they, like once this vote gets passed and approved, which I'm disclaiming it already. Once it gets passed and approved, and then for, the ribbon cuttings and ceremonial things like that, try to let you all know as far in advance as possible, because I think Carson, you said you're in Keller. I think you're the only one that's here in Texas.
Right.
I'm
Well,
in Katy,
Teresa's in Houston, Katie.
Oh, Teresa, you're in Katy. Awesome.
Right.
My daughter goes to the University of Houston. Yay.
Okay.
And so,
Perfect.
so So Teresa and Carson, you guys are the only two in Texas, but I will definitely give advance notice as advance as I can. And hopefully you all can come for the ceremonial things for the campus. And
We would
so,
love
but
to.
again, thank you so much.
Thank
you, Eva.
Thank you.
If it on the opening ceremony, would it be something that would be recorded that might be put on YouTube or something like that if Kathleen or I couldn't come? Do you know?
Yes, yes, definitely. I made sure that would happen.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Just because I think just the way things are working out, I don't think I'd be able to make it over. I'd love to. I wish. Um, I, I was
You
so
know what?
surprised.
You know what? I probably could bring you in virtually.
Oh, wow.
That would be good. That would be
Yes.
good.
Yes, I'd love to do that. If you can't make
Okay.
it, I'd love to bring you in virtually because
Okay. Well, thank you very
I
much.
think
Appreciate that.
as long as you guys are still here on this earth, I want you all to be included in all the things. And so that's important to me. And
Okay,
I
well, thank
know
you.
our leaders here in Aubrey would love for that as well. So thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Really appreciate it.
All
Yes.
right. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Eva.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Enjoy your cruise, Carson.
Yeah. Enjoy your cruise.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, I got a Honolulu Hard Rock shirt.
Hey.
Oh, good. Good.
All right.
Sorry,
Have a
Eva,
good
we
one,
took over
everybody.
your Zoom call.
No problem. I'm loving the sibling love. So it means the world to
Yeah.
me. So
We
awesomeness.
usually try to have a sibling meeting by we usually use FaceTime or something and do it once a month and talk all four of us together.
Oh, that's
So,
beautiful.
but we
Thank
haven't talked
you.
in a while. Bye-bye.
I'm glad to bring you
Bye.
together then. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We haven't done it in a while. We started it when Mom was alive, just to keep in touch and so she
Mhm.
could see us all.
Yeah.
And so we just continued it.
All right. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.